In terms of project implementation, the title of the project is Scaling Up the Use of Vetiver Grass as an Ecosystem Adaptation Technology on Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands. That is a pilot project. In this presentation, I have the following content. As context, we present on context, challenges, objectives, the Pacific engaged team, written roles, SOPs, potential risk, and the Pacific engaged as the lead agency. So, on context, scaling the use of Vetiver Grass Adaptation Technology to build resilience against the effects of climate change in the areas of soil erosion, waste treatment, and water conservation, slope stabilization, will require a rapid expansion and the promotion of technology through education, training and awareness, access to information and access to support, use of Vetiver technology system applications by communities initially on Guadalcanal, establishing the supply of Vetiver grass by increasing nurseries and providing a community support network, and establishing a platform to source Vetiver cheaply and easily. On challenges, whilst the effects of climate change comes with a broad spectrum of challenges, scaling up the use of Vetiver grass challenges remain in the different Vetiver technology system applications on the various sites on Guadalcanal, equipping and empowering communities, local NGOs, institutions to sustainably adapt, supply, and source the Vetiver grass. In terms of applications, improve river bank and coastal stability, reducing of beach and slope erosions, eco-friendly latrines for communities, healthy environment and multi-level stakeholder benefits, and sustainable use of farmland. Management and sustainability, maintain the supply of Vetiver grass. Secondly, effective use of Vetiver and upkeep of the pilot sites. And lastly, source in a cost-effective manner. Our objectives of the ecosystem adaptation action is to establish a stockholding of Vetiver nurseries on Guadalcanal province, use Vetiver technology system in soil and water conservation, pollution control, and infrastructure protection, build capacity with local communities to establish a community-managed nursery, plant Vetiver grass on vulnerable road slopes, river banks, agricultural farms, village lands, and coastal lines, and introduce a sustainable upland farming systems. Further on, our aim is to introduce and raise awareness to the effectiveness of Vetiver systems, provide hands-on training for key stakeholders, establish a pilot project with key stakeholders, and establish a viable sourcing platform of Vetiver seeds. The Pacific Engaged team, in terms of project partners, there is a well-established terms of reference or GR for the collaboration between the various partners and participants. In terms of the project implementation teams, the Pacific Engaged CEO have recruited the following positions. We have a project manager. Currently, I will be stepping in for that position, Paul. We have a support staff on the field, Rodney Sopa. We have a field officer, Willie Liko, agriculture. We have field officer environment, Leslie Alata. And we have admin finance, Alari Afton. And we have a support officer admin, Judith Kapini. We will also source technical manpower support. Will be engaged as and when needed from time to time. That includes GIS, IT, builder plumber, transport, and logistics. Our operating rules, SOPs, Pacific Engaged have a structure where we have two departments. The CEO is in charge of the project. We have a department, field department, and we have a finance and admin department. So we also have a project team structure which is in place that will, with the CEO and the Pacific board and the technical support team, be able to provide the support needed for problem solving, decision making, conflict resolution, status building, brainstorming, and teamwork on this project. Potential risks to the project, I think our main risk would be weather. Though we have a 20-day window to implement on a monthly basis, if the rain persists for weeks at a time, it might affect our schedule in terms of vetiver grass. The roots need some time to hold, especially on slopes. So attend to repairs and maintain, but it also has a setback implications. Another risk is theft and vandalism. So currently we're trying to engage with sites that are either private, where there is a responsible authority in charge, and in case of community, we want proper land owning groups to take responsibility of care for the sites. And land disputes as a risk, as much as possible, we're trying to engage with right land owners in the community and seek consent through proper protocols with responsible institutions. Pacific Engage as a lead agency will be responsible for implementation. That will be done management day-to-day management operations through our field and finance department. Management of funds, finance department is set up to take care of that. In terms of oversight and compliance, we have established a oversight committee and will liaise directly with the oversight committee and incorporate compliance requirements into our operations. As a reminder, it is a pilot project, so whilst we have huge challenges ahead of us with the effects of climate change, let us be reminded of the initial objective of the project and therefore work at achieving it as a pilot in ecosystem-based adaptation action project. That will be all. Thank you, everyone.
Firstly, thank you. I would like to take this time to thank SPC with Melanie and the team for giving us this opportunity in Solomon Islands. I think this is something that we have been trying to introduce since 2018. It has been a struggle for us, but thank you, Melanie, for giving us this opportunity. And I'm pretty sure the team in Solomon Islands will work hard towards achieving what we are supposed to achieve with the project. I'll just give you a brief introduction and the outline of the project. Project implementation outline. We'll give you a brief introduction on the project, then introduction of the Pacific Engage and TVNI teams who will be managing the team. Then also we have the project goals and overview of the project activities and the timeline. The list of tentative timing of the 5 in-house training and also technical presentations to take place, and hopefully 1 capacity building workshop if the borders open up. Then we have the participation conditions and commitment letters, which I believe the team in Honiara have delivered or have signed. Then we will have some interviews towards the end of the project. We basically want to put up a small video so we can use that as a documentary at a later stage. And then we will do the project closing, documentary release, and we also plan to have a field day at the end of the project. That's to see the best demonstrated practices. About the project, initially the project would be a 1-year program to build capacity among the residents of Honiara and the communities within their respective catchment areas to utilize vetiver grass technology. for a wide range of community-led applications that both mitigate serious soil and water-related problems and enhance local communities' resilience to face climate change impacts. Basically, the project will develop the knowledge capital and provide the training, technical, and logistical support required to expand the use of Vetiver for a broad range of climate change adaptation and environmental management needs. Specific project results would include a capacity build. We should be able to have a few sites established as pilot projects, Vetiver propagation capacity and supply developed, where, like in Fiji, where we have 5 established major nurseries. Then the Vetiver banks. Vetiver banks is basically PE, Pacific Engage, will be distributing Vetiver slips to community-based groups. And after maybe 2 or 3 years, they will repay back to Pacific Engage. Then I'm pretty sure we have some public and private sector interests, which we will replicate and expand. And then the knowledge base for replication and expansion is ensured. The project sites, we have a couple of sites that we have identified. Paul and the team have identified. One is the first site is the Sape farm. We will be using that for the agricultural applications. Then we have the Betikama Adventist College. They are close to the big river there. So that's what we will use Vetiver for the riverbank stabilization, and they also have farms there, so we might use farm and the landfill as well. The third side is the HEC landfill that will come on at a later stage as soon as we're given the green light from HEC. We have the White River Road, which MID will also give us the okay to do some road stabilization project there. And we also have Gold Ridge Tailings and the Milkfish Bay Resort that's on the Marapa Island. The role of TBNI is basically we are here to provide technical advice and expertise to PE to help them to successfully implement the project. The role of Pacific Engage, they are our local actors, and they will be basically implementing the project on Guadalcanal, and in terms of financial management, in line with the grant agreement that they will be spending the money there, but they will be reporting back to us and SPC as well. But Melanie will be giving us a helping hand during our initial stages of spending. She will get us through so that we can get used to how they do the procurements at SPC. The team, basically, we have 2 teams, the technical advisory team, which is the TVNI, myself as the consultant. We have Dr. Paul, Jim, and Dick as advisors. From time to time, the team in Honiera, if you need advice, we have Dr. Paul there, we have Jim, and we have Dick also there, so who will be helping us. And also we have Donna Rep from SPC, Melanie, in terms of our expenditures, spending at the initial stages. She will be there to guide us. Then we have the management team. We have Paul there as the manager. We have Willie, Leslie, and Rodney as the field officers. And also we have our capable hands of to look after the finance and admin. We have Judith, and we also have Larry, who will be assisting. Our project goal is basically to introduce introduction of knowledge about vetiver grass and its many uses, the best practice techniques for use in Guadalcanal Island communities, and the creation of lasting supplies through nurseries for scaling up ecosystem-based adaptation actions. Activities, they have about 6 activities. One will be the technical presentation of the Vetiver system. After this launching, we will, myself and Paul will be organizing some presentations, which I'll be doing. Then we have also estimated 5 to 10 project sites, which will be our pilot project sites. Then we will be establishing community nurseries. I believe we have one already on Marapa. Then we'll have another one at Okea, I believe. Tom, is it right, Paul? Then we'll also have a few more. Then we will do an educational handbook with the help of Paul, who will be supplying the photographs. I will try to do a handbook which we can use at the later stage if upscaled. Then we'll do also a short documentary, less than 10 minutes, just to keep it as a story for Vetiver in Guadalcanal, past, present, and future. Then finally, we will do a field day. We will have the participants to visit each site to see who actually did the best demonstration, so we can learn from what they did. Expected outcomes, and the impacts of the project. By the end of the project, we are expecting that all participants should be educated in vetiver grass benefits and the vetiver system, in helping to scaling up ecosystem-based adaptation actions in Guadalcanal. Okay, by the end of the project, most community should be aware that vetiver grass is a simple green tool for slope stabilization, erosion control, wastewater treatment, and there are also some other uses as well. There are at least 5 pilot demonstration projects in Guadalcanal. By the end of the project phase, we should have at least established 5 project sites. And there are at least 3 community nurseries to supply vetiver into the future after project completion. And that is if Melanie is happy with us. And at the end of the project, several community members will have successfully learned how to use vetiver system applications in their community and elsewhere. Vetiver has been in Solomon Islands for quite a while, but its application is not so much known. So this project will give an opportunity for people to know. And there is also a community documentary capturing the project and vetiver in Guadalcanal, past, present, and future. The community is empowered by having the ability to use vetiver grass to tackle their land and infrastructure challenges in a very affordable and green way. Then we have children and youth in the community, and the public are inspired by the pilot projects that we do that will speak volumes. Activities, all planting activities should start after the launching, after this meeting, which is September to November. I believe it's also the rainy season in Solomon Islands. Presentations, PowerPoint presentations with myself and Paul and the team will also commence September to October. The projects, necessary upkeep, monitoring, data collection, follow-up, and maintenance. As soon as we establish the project, that should start immediately, and it will be ongoing until June 2022. Soil and water conservation applications that will also start September to December, which is the rainy season. Design and printing of the vetiver educational handbook, May to July 2022, and the closing event will be in July 2022. Video shooting and pictures of the projects, we plan to have it from April to June next year. Interviews with participants and community members somewhere in May. A documentary editing and the release at the closing event, June, July 2022. There are 4 virtual PowerPoint presentations that we will be doing during the course of our project, which is introduction to vetiver system. It will be done by me. The target group is PE, and the community leaders and participants will be in September. Then we have the plant preparation introduction to nursery management, also will be done by me. Participants, our target groups, PE, and the community leaders and the participants, it will also be done in September. Then we have the vetiver system for soil and water conservation, riverbank slope stabilization, wastewater treatment, and we also have soccer waste and latrines. We'll try and do with some of pig toilets, and we will try to introduce vetiver latrines into the community as well. That will be in October, and other uses as well. As time allows and funding permits, we will go on to the other uses. Activity output, I won't go through that, but you, at your own time, I will email through the presentation as well, so you can go through that. We have the activities listed on my left, who is responsible. Then we have the project timeline. That's it. And this we should be seeing these results in community. Climate smart agroecology, from the traditional way of doing our agricultural farming, conventional method of protecting slopes, we should see a change in nature-based solution. Matilda, you should be happy that you have vetiver introduced onto your farm. At the bottom one on the left, you will see that your farm will look like this. That's on a slope. I'm pretty sure we have some farmers up on the slopes which will be happy to use vetiver for soil and water conservation. This is basically what the layout of our nursery should look like. We have 30, 40, 50 centimeter spacing. Then we have an interrow spacing of 1 meter, which is not in here, but this is basically my nursery inlay, which I supply my vetiver slips from. Oops. I think that's about it. I would like to acknowledge the following: SPC for the funding support, EU for the donor grants, TVNI, Jim and the team for technical expertise, Pacific Engage, who will be our project implementers, MID, which is Ministry of Infrastructure Development, which we will be working in collaboration with them in some of the roads. Paul is actually visiting them from time to time, so if they allow us, we will do some slope stabilization project with them. Matilda and the team at Sape Farm for the agricultural applications. We also have a Betty Kama Adventist College, Honiara City Council. Hopefully, they can give us the green light to introduce vetiver onto rehabilitating some of the areas where they are closing up. We can plant vetiver on them to treat the lichet there. We also have a Dukuna village community who have agreed for us to trial out the vetiver for the latrines. Development Service Exchange, from time to time, we'll be working in collaboration with them, who are the coordinators of all CBOs and NGOs in Solomon Islands. And then we also have Milkfish Bay Resort. And special thank you. I will also go to the community groups and volunteers who will be involved in the project as well. Ecosystem-based adaptation actions is basically for nature, and it is our responsibility, everyone's responsibility. I think I'll leave you with this saying: we have to live the dream and not just dream. We want to see Solomon Island become a green nation. Thank you, Thomas.
Okay, Robbo, you need to stop sharing and go to the top there somewhere.
Stop share.
There we are. Well, that was very interesting. A nice presentation too. Thank you so much. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you for having me. Yes, so I do not have a particular presentation, but just want to thank you all for the presentations you put forward. This looks very promising. PACRES is the project under which you've got the grants. It's to scale up ecosystem-based adaptation in the 5 Pacific Island countries. including Solomon Islands. So I'm pretty pleased to see this coming together. Again, as Rob said, if you have any issues regarding reporting, because that's a very difficult part of all, if not the most difficult, actually. As soon as you have like an expense, let's have a talk and I'll get you through, guide you through all the processes, which can be a bit tricky, in order to have a good reporting and start the project on the right basics. That's pretty much all for me. I'm pretty excited about the documentary, actually. That was a nice surprise. Well done. That's not usually something included into project, but I do think it's really important to include some of the communication visuals to promote what you guys are going to do. So well done on that. And just a side note as well, I've noticed you have a lot of workshops, and one of your main key results area is to introduce the technology and to have a lot of people have knowledge of how to use it. So if you could just take note of how many people you've trained and how many women or men and children, or like youth, that you've provided the training to, that's something as well that is very important to put in reporting. But other than that, pretty excited to see this coming to a start. Well done.
Thank you, Richardson. Thank you, everybody. Please, for us to come to this home this morning. It's of course very important for the next year. Actually, the life of the project, I'm seeing very important partners in the world. And as far as TBNI is concerned, being the implementers in the country, we are too pleased just to have each and every one of you come. We see us as making this progress together and moving on. There's a lot in terms of Vetiver for not only Solomon Island, but other Pacific nations. We've started with Guadalcanal, but I believe the need is immense. It's also in other parts of the nation. So I'm seeing that as a huge way forward. And having met you this morning, Richard, Jim, Robinson, Melanie also of SPC, and other participants, Sacred Farm and HCC this morning. It's a privilege for us, and we're looking forward to a closer working relationship, and one that will go a long way in order to help Solomon Islands as a nation. The need for Vetiver in this country is huge, and I believe it will make the way forward for us in ensuring that we address huge issue in our nation in terms of challenges to climate change and the rest of the issues that are currently in our country. We will also be looking at areas like we have agriculture, but also there are other important fronts that we can address in terms of small beginning this morning, but we look forward to close with everyone. I wish to thank each and every one of you, and we are glad that we can have this Zoom this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter, Chairman of the Board. I'll give it to Richard Grimes now. Richard.
Okay, Paul. Thank you. I don't want to say very much, but in a way I'm speaking on behalf of Jim, because I'm not sure if he's on or is still connected. But first of all, I really would like to say that we're very encouraged by your approach in Guadalcanal, and you've got a nice cross-section of people involved as the leadership roles, and in the sort of testing roles, the sub-projects or pilot programs. And I think if everybody is open and frank with each other and is open to discussion and also open to some criticism at times, this program could move forward very, very well. Obviously, there are going to be some things you're going to learn as you go along. The basics of vetiver and the technology are well known by some of us anyway, and but often one needs slight modification depending on the location and so on. I think our main role in the Vetiver Network is primarily to provide technical support. One of the failures I see so often on projects, whether they are projects with vetiver-based projects or often other projects, this goes back years while I was working with the World Bank, is the fact that the technologies are not properly applied. The technology is good, the application is not always good, and then people say, well, the technology is no good. So you have an opportunity in this 1 year to really apply the technology correctly. And if you do that, I'm sure it'll be very successful, and it will, through the success, you will find that other, communities will then want to accelerate the expansion of it in future years. We have every confidence in Robinson as our representative in the area and our key man supporting you on the project. Robinson has done a lot of work with vetiver over the years and knows more about it than I do. I'm sure I can guarantee that. And he's certainly planted a lot more vetiver than I have. I've actually planted very little. So we have the confidence in him. I'll tell you something, an experience I had when I first joined the World Bank in 1970. I was in Indonesia in 1972, and we had oil palm projects and rubber projects. And the technology being introduced into those plantations was new for some of the Indonesians. And we had a system there called a visiting agent system, which we picked up from Malaysia. The plantation houses in Malaysia used to hire people from a different plantation to come in and critically look at their technology and the way they're applying their planting techniques and production technique. And these people were called visiting agents. And it was this visiting agent idea which I was so impressed by, and it was so successful that when I first talked to Robinson about this project, I said to Robinson, what we need is a visiting agent, somebody like you who've got hands-on experience and who can go in and help the people in the Solomon Islands and show them the right way of doing it. And that is what our main role is. That's Robinson's main role, and the support you can get from people like me and Jim if you need it. I'm sure you will hardly need it, but it's getting the technology right. Do it right and get people to understand why you're doing it. And also with vetiver, the fact that it can be used for so many different things. If people start understanding that, they'll start seeing that this is more than just a bit of grass which they see beside the edge of the road, or they think, a lot of people think grass is a weed. And so I think I think there's a lot of opportunity to use this technology for all sorts of things in your country. And we have confidence in Robinson, and certainly I have confidence in your team too. In Paul, you and your team look as though you've been talking to each other a lot. You know what you're trying to do, and you know how to deal with your communities and work with your communities, and that's very important. So we can just wish you a lot of good fortune. And I know that from on the TVNI side, one of our directors, Paul Zuckerman, who's from the UK, he put up the money, about $30,000 altogether, to support Robinson's work in the Solomon Islands and in Fiji and places like that. And I know he'll be very pleased to learn that you've got started at last, and we look forward to having reports from time to time on how the project progresses. And incidentally, I think, Robo, maybe after 6 months or something like that, the first 6 months, we could have another meeting where Jim Smile and myself and hopefully Paul Truong can be involved, and we can just have a general chat about how you're doing. And if you've got any questions from our side, you can ask us, and we'll try and give a response. And we can also find out about what you're doing. One of the other very important things I want to mention is that what you do will get spread around the South Pacific to other island communities, and not only in Asia or Southeast Asia, South Pacific, but also in the Caribbean and other island nations, because we have to learn from each other and we have to share with each other. And this is basically the success of the Vetiver Network over the last 25, 30 years has been because we've been prepared to share information between users. And we're all one community. Some of us know a little bit more than others. We all learn from each other, and there's room for all of us to learn. So we can wish you good luck and good fortune, and all the very best. Thank you. There we are. And if Robo, do you want any more? Have you got anything else to say or not?
I think I don't have much to say. Basically, I'm excited with the team in Honiara. And I'm pretty sure I trust Paul and his team, Peter, and a bunch of very young guys. I'm pretty sure energetic.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure unfortunately, I cannot be available in person. But let's hope that the borders should open up soon to allow us to travel, so to be on site and physically make sure that like what Richard said, we need to have correctly apply the technology. A lot of times technologies fail because we're not doing it right. So get it done right at the first place, and you will be a happy islander.
Yep.
Living in harmony with your community. So I'm hoping to catch up with the SI team as soon as the borders are open. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I guess you can get back to your work. It's a Monday for you. It's Sunday for me, but Monday for you.